Welcome back to the Entrepreneur's Edge. I'm so excited to have my guest with me today, Lindsay. She is a multi-talented, multi-passionate person just like I am, and we can probably talk forever about all kinds of things. But I wanted to go ahead and just introduce you to her. Lindsay, go ahead if you can go ahead and let people know who you are, who you serve, and a little bit about your story of why you're doing what you're doing. You're doing so many fun and exciting things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My name is Lindsay Hack, and I am the co-owner of Hacktive Fit Coaching with my husband. We are in central Mexico, so we live outside of the U.S. or Canada. I am Canadian though, with our two teenage daughters. I have been in the health and fitness realm for 24 years now, exclusively online since 2016. So well before Zoom and everybody doing online things. And back then, I had no idea what I was doing, and just kind of came online because I wanted to help more people. I wanted to reach more people. And so for me, the big thing was finding those people all around the world. So, in the last 8 years, I've worked with people in New Zealand, Australia, England, Canada, the US. And so it's been a whirlwind in terms of all of the amazing things that have gone on. I work predominantly with women over the age of 40, high achieving leaders, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, really about taking back their health. And so, I truly believe health and fitness is a business strategy. So I use the concept and mindset of business, and I bring that over into the health and wellness side of things. So most people understand, what it is to be successful from a business perspective, but we also tend to put ourselves last on the priority list, especially when we're building our business. So for me, I knew I needed to find something easy, simple, that could fit into anybody's schedule. And so that's kind of how my business evolved.
That's awesome. And then like really speaks to my heart because that's the same concept that I have. It's like, it has to be easy. It has to be simple so people can fit it into their busy lives. We both serve high achieving people, mostly women as well. And so it's very near and dear to my heart. And I love that you're talking about health because there's so many things around health that we don't understand. And we might even mentally assent, we're like, oh yeah, we know that. like like if you're taking care of your body, you're gonna have better mental health, because it all works together. And what are some things that you're finding that you just wish people really knew or knew more in depth? They're like, okay, if you really take this a little bit seriously, it really does ricochet, and we really take our health for granted. And in those moments when we're down, we're like, oh, I should be taking care of myself. But it's almost like we have this blindness. It's like we know when we're down, like, oh, I should have been taking care of myself. And then we feel better, and then we forget. So help us not to forget and not to get to that point of like, don't wait until your body and your mental health is broken down. You can do those simple things now. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, I love that. So there's a few things that I see as common themes. The first one is we overcomplicate it, and that's not our fault. That is the health and fitness industry's fault. And I say this for being in it for almost 25 years now. It is a terrible system. It is a money making. It tells you, it confuses you, it complicates all the things. And so we need to stop. And so our podcast is actually called Cut the Noise, Wellness Simplified, because there's so much noise out there, so many things. I mean, social media has made it even worse. Influencers who are saying things because, people are and products are paying them to. So there's all this stuff. And so how do we overcomplicate it is taking baby steps. And that's the biggest thing that I would say. The next thing is that, I always say, do habits that you can do even on your worst day. Right. So they're so small that they actually feel like they're not that big of a deal. It almost feels too easy. But when on your worst day you can do them, on the best days you can work. Right. So and I love the concept of taking what you know and figuring out how it works for you. So if you have a coach or a product or anybody come to you and say, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to fit your life into this program, I always say run the other way, because that's not true. And it's the same with everything that we do, when it comes to business or financials or, relationships. There's not one size fits all, right? It's very specific to how you are doing, what you're doing in your life. Do you have kids? Do you not have kids? Do you have a business that you run at home? Are you going into the office? You have to find what works best for you. And just because the shakes or the pills might have worked for your best friend's aunt, sister's boyfriend, whatever, doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. Can it work? Yes. Can everything almost work? Absolutely. But does it work for you? And, and you hear a lot of, Ozempic is a big one. The GLP-1s are a big one right now, right? All of this stuff. I've seen it not work for people. I've seen things that are sworn to be the best thing ever not work for somebody because it's not the right fit for them. So finding what works for you, finding what fits for you into your schedule, and you're bringing it into your life versus the other way around, which is a lot of what they say. Spend hours in the kitchen, hours at the gym. Nobody has time for that. I don't have time for that. I always say I have a Bachelor of Nutritional Sciences and I know all the things, yet I hate cooking. I hate batching. I hate using my file. So I don't
Oh, I love
expect
you so much right
others.
now. I feel so good right now.
I will never, if you like it, good, hats off to you. I will support you and help you along the way. But most of us do not want to weigh our food and do not want to track every single thing that goes in our mouth. Now, the fitness and nutrition industry has basically said to us that if you don't do those things, you're not going to be successful. And I'm telling you right now, from my own personal experience, losing 40 pounds myself after going all into my business for the best of my business, I gained weight, I lost confidence, I did all those things, and hundreds of clients that I've worked with over these years. It doesn't have to be the only way. The way that works is the way that you can sustain it long term. And that's the most important thing.
You said so many good things. I was just like, yes, I feel free now. But I think one of the most important things is like finding what works for you in the long term. Because one of the things I see out there a lot is like, yeah, you may take the pills, but what happens when you stop taking the pills? What happens when you stop doing that specific diet? What happens when you stop doing that high intensity workout that's burning off all the calories? People gain the weight back because it's not sustainable. And I was just thinking, I have a client and she was telling me, when TikTok went down for 12 hours and everybody was losing their minds. I was like, I don't know. It's like Y2K all over again, all do about nothing. But before that, people who were in the health and wellness industry who were selling a lot of products and had made a lot of money were making their confessions of like, oh, actually, no, I had surgeries. This was actually a lie over here. And they were like, spilling the beans of and then saying, okay, now come and follow me in this platform. I'm like, wait, but you just confessed that you're a liar, liar, pants on fire. And so I'm so glad that you brought up this thing about the influencers. It's like if you want to find somebody, if you want to be serious, find somebody who's been doing it for a while and for a long while and has had this consistent results, and also sharing your story. That's so important. Like, okay, yeah, I did get unhealthy. I recognize that. I went all in, and now I've been able to shed the 40 pounds and keep it off. And now I'm helping other people do that as well in a way that's so easy for them to do, which is so important. I can't emphasize that enough. We make it so complicated because we believe the lies. And it's one of those things like when we get really excited, it's like we need to pause because biochemically what's happening is like, it's 90 seconds in and your body gets all, ooh. Give yourself the process of time. And if you still want it after 2 minutes, then say yes to it. But I love that. I know you have so many incredible things. Watch you all the time on Facebook. I'm so glad that we're Facebook friends. You do not only health and wellness, but you were doing AI and vision boards, all kinds of cool and juicy things. And I love attending your workshops that you provide for us out there as well. Can you give us a little bit more? I know you have something coming up on February 19th.
Yeah. So if you imagine, because I've been doing this for a long time, I have actually run vision board workshops for 15 years. Back in the day, it was bring your, paste and your magazines. And then in 2016, I ran my first virtual one, still magazines and glue sticks and glitter. But as we're evolving, we're seeing new things happen, right? Canva came along and then it was like, oh my gosh, we can now create this, Pinterest, all of these things. Well, this year, I started learning for myself personally, creating AI images. So very like positions of hair and makeup and all of those things. And I just by accident put it on my vision board. And I could not believe the power that had me looking back at myself, already finishing the race, already on the stage talking to the people from a business perspective, already, writing my book, and I have one of me like reading my book at a book writing. No, I have not done these things, but again, I know you know this, when you see yourself do it, your brain doesn't know the difference between doing it and not doing it. It just sees it. So the power of this vision board created something more than I could possibly imagine. And I needed it to share with people. I needed to share it with people who understood vision boards and the power of them, who are curious about AI in general. And I brought it together into this masterclass. So my new masterclass is on February 19th. And this one is actually going to be walking you through from step 1 to step 21 to create your images and create your own vision board. And so it's super, super exciting because I believe AI is not going anywhere. So I'm excited to, really embrace that. People are very curious about that. I also believe the idea of looking at yourself, right? I have one where I have a medal around my neck. I have my hands up in the air and I'm crossing a finish line. That's a little bit more powerful than just a generic pair of running shoes, which would be kind of what I would have used on my old vision board. And so we're changing the game. And I think that the visualization, manifestation, whatever it is you want to work with, there's a ton of mind stuff that goes along with that. And I do talk about that in my workshops as well. But it has created this new and an exciting visualization that is basically not just saying I'm going to. It's like I've already done it. I've already done the race. I've already done the speaking environment. And I always say the biggest difference is if you put a 911 white Porsche sitting on your vision board and it stares at you, it's powerful. We know the power of vision boards. It's been years now scientifically proven about vision boards. Now you're sitting in the driver's seat of that white 911 Porsche, and it is now taking you to a whole new level. And so I'm so excited. I cannot wait to share more. And I've been working with clients who want it themselves. They're like, do it for me. I'm like, okay, I can do that for you. No problem. And then they also get images that they can use for social media, marketing, funnels, et cetera, et cetera. So it creates this massive vision board, visualization, manifestation, and then it also creates images that you can use on your social media, et cetera, without having to spend money, go into a photo shoot, figuring out what you're going to wear, all of those things. So it's overall just super exciting, and I can't wait to share it with more people.
This is so exciting. And what really came to mind for me is that I was doing this thing around the 7 pillars of thinking. And so I have a quiz, and visualization actually is lower. It's a supporting pillar. It's almost all the way to the bottom. So it's very difficult for me to visualize. So I think for people, like if vision boards did not work really for you in the past, this is probably why. It's because there's a disconnect in your brain between like, yeah, I see the thing, but I don't see myself in it. And it's like you're taking the act as if principle to the next level. So if you haven't, like, oh, well, vision boards don't work for me. It just could be, maybe you're like me. Maybe you need the help and the imagination to prime your brain, to prime the pump, and having yourself really in it. Your brain can then say, oh, there's me. That's me. Wait, have we actually done that? No, we have to pull you now there. So I love what you're doing because it helps people who are naturally have visualization as one of their stronger pillars of thinking. And for people like me who need a little help and like vision boards really have not worked in the past. And now that I understand my brain a little bit more, it's like, oh, I need to prime the pump. I need to act. I need to figure out a way to put myself in the commercial of my future. And that's actually what you're helping people do, is because that's what our imagination is for, to play the commercials for our future. And you're helping us connect our future to our now to accelerate those results. I love what you're doing in health and wellness, and I love what you're doing to help us to really manifest the destiny that we desire. I call it redefine reality. So thank you so much for being here on the Entrepreneur's Edge. Is there anything else you would like to share? We'll have, and if you're like, how do I get in touch with her? Everything's going to be in the show notes below. But if there's anything else that you would like to share with the audience.
Yeah, I would say the only thing I would say is that, vision boards, it's not magic. You still have to put work in, right? If you want to make a change, you have to make a change. And that's, it's cliche for a reason because it's true. And so, the vision boards are powerful, but if they just stare at you and you don't actually take any actions to talking on stage or running a race or, eating a certain way or whatever, it only is going to be a beautiful vision, right? There's not going to be any action steps. So I always really like to caution people and say, like, I love it. And I think it's super important, but we still have work to do. And so, when it comes to doing that work, if you're struggling to find how to get your habits or what habits to have or what to do, definitely reach out, ask me questions because I am extremely passionate about, well, vision boards, AI, and health and fitness because I've been doing it for so long. And oftentimes we just sometimes don't know where to start, and it's just that one step that takes one step to move forward, and that's the most important thing. So just start.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here with me again. You can find all the ways you can stalk Lindsay down below in my show notes. And until next time, thanks for being with us in the Entrepreneur's Edge. May God's riches and best be yours. Bye for now.